You're watching Today, and it is time now for the Mixed Grill with Daily Telegraph columnist Sarrah Le Marquand, our very own David Campbell, and making her debut on the couch this morning, we have Marina Go from the Hurst Bauer magazine Empire.
Bravo.
Great to see you. Thank you for being with us this morning. Oh, I think we should have a round of applause, don't we?
Yeah, come on, first time.
Where are all the boys when you need them? There we go. That is our way of saying welcome, Marina.
Thank you.
All right, first up this morning, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has more than doubled the number of women in Cabinet, set to swear in 5 female ministers this morning. Among them, Australia's first female Defence Minister, Marise Payne. Marina, actually, I want to go to you first on this.
Yes.
As a female CEO, also a chairwoman with West Tigers.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this? Is this at least a step in the right direction?
Absolutely. Every new appointment of a woman to a senior role is a step in the right direction. And I know that there has been a little bit of discussion saying, well, you know, the previous government had 11, so the Labor government had 11, and now we've got 5 up from 2. But 5 is better than 2, and I'm absolutely certain it will continue to grow.
There is discussion out there that perhaps this is just a statement, a political statement, that they weren't appointed on merit. But Sarah, surely it's in Malcolm Turnbull's interest to have the best team around him.
Oh, look, this old argument. I was actually just looking at some of the comments on an article on Rendezvous this morning where it says exactly what Marina just said. 5 women is better than 1. And of course you've got people commenting on, I hope they were appointed on merit. Well, let's just look at it factually. If you increase or double the intake, so you don't just draw from 50% of the population, but you draw from 100% of the population, then it stands to reason that you're actually going to double your merit. So it's not a stunt, for heaven's sake. No one said it was a stunt when men were the only people in Cabinet for decades and decades and decades. That's just how it was, and it's increasingly how it was. And the wider the pool of human beings that you draw from, the more merit you'll get in Cabinet.
Having a female Defence Minister is a huge move, and it also sends a pretty loud message probably to the Defence Force. What do we think, David, that having a female as Defence Minister could do for the culture of the Defence Force?
Well, I think it's going to improve it. But I think, you know, having her there, having Julie Bishop there as well, going out into the world, I think all these things are great for the Defence Force. It's great for, you know, us out there in the world. I mean, this isn't... we wouldn't be talking about this if there wasn't 2 women in the Cabinet before. And that is the problem with this argument. You know, and the Prime Minister came out this morning and was very adamant. And we're not talking about the fact that he's not got a lot of other Abbott supporters in there as well, you know. It's just the fact that it's women. We should stop talking about this now. It should be normalised, and we should just get on with the state of governing.
They have been appointed on merit, and we shall judge them on merit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. All right, next topic. School teachers across the country will be given awareness kits about radicalisation and how to identify students at risk. It comes amid fears more teenagers are being groomed to become terrorists. David, is this an effective tactic, do you think?
Well, look, you know, we all have to be mindful of what's going on out there, and the radicalisation of young people is happening and can happen so easily. They're very vulnerable. They're, you know, a very hard time in their lives, either in the community or not. It's not just teachers that need to look at this, you know, family, friends. I think it's a community thing. I don't think we need to look on it in judgment as well. I think we need to look on it as something as trying to help some kids. You know, they're very, and I can't stress this enough, they're extremely vulnerable and they're being manipulated. You know, this isn't something that they're choosing, like they're just clicking on the net and they're just finding it. They're being groomed, they're being manipulated, and we have to put a stop to it somewhere.
Does it put an unreasonable amount of pressure on teachers, though, to be, you know, identifying this, do you think, Marina?
Yeah, well, I think the great thing about schools and the great work that teachers do already is that they already identify issues with children. And so, you know, my youngest son's doing the HSC this year, so I've been through this, and a teacher will identify something that sometimes a parent might miss. So that's a great thing. I guess the issue that we need to be careful of is that the teachers are then also monitored and trained very well, because you don't want this to kind of be a slippery slope into, you know, people being identified because of race. That's what I'd worry about.
Well, that happened in America in the last few days. You might have seen a 14-year-old boy in Texas, a Sudanese boy who comes from a Muslim family, and he made a clock and was marched off school grounds handcuffed because his teacher thought maybe it was a bomb. So there's been a massive reaction to that, and in fact he's been invited to the White House by Obama, so hopefully that particular case has ended up well. But it was a reminder that we need to be careful, that vigilance hypervigilance doesn't trickle into singling out people. And, of course, that's only going to make young people more vulnerable to, as David says, these people that manipulate, and they're preying on that vulnerability.
And hypervigilance does make people very edgy. You know, it makes them read into things that may not be there, which is what happened to this case with this boy in America.
The reality is it's so easy to access these kids, though, isn't it, online? Yes. All right, now I want to get this to this quickly because it's a great topic this morning. The October edition of Elle magazine has been released this morning, and it features, let me get it, a mirrored cover. This is the front cover instead of a model or a celebrity, and it allows the reader to be the cover model themselves, which is terrific. The feature story, We Are Women, showcases influential Australian women to inspire readers. Marina, tell us more. How did it all come about?
Oh, well, we decided that we wanted to celebrate what is really special about women and the diversity of women. Women come in all shapes and sizes. Women come from all different backgrounds, different generations, and so we have 47 women aged from 100 through to a newborn in there. Your very own Lisa Wilkinson is in there, Julie Bishop's in there, and then also a whole bunch of women that are not known but have equally as important a voice. And so they're talking about the hopes and dreams. And I think the most important part of it for me is just how optimistic women are about their opportunity. Older women as well as young women, because you expect young women probably to be a little bit more optimistic about, you know, equality and things like that. But in fact, some of the older women were talking about the wonderful changes that have been made over the years. And you know, one of my favourite quotes is actually from Ita Buttrose, who says, you know, as a woman, I can do whatever I want to do and I can be whoever I want to be. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve with this issue. And then when we talked about, well, how would we reflect that on the cover? Because generally, you reflect the lead story on the cover, and this is really the best way to do so. You know, if you want to celebrate diversity.
Like beautiful Madeline Stewart there, who has Down syndrome and just walked the catwalk at New York Fashion Week. A gorgeous girl. She's bucking trends and she's, you know, creating new ideas and perceptions, and she's just a wonderful girl. It's a terrific idea. It's a risk, though, because we know that covers sell magazines. So it's a great risk you're taking, but a really admirable one.
It is, but I think, you know, I mean, in terms of business, obviously I run the business. I'm not the editor. The editor is happily in Paris at the shows, and Justine has done a great job with this issue. But, you know, it's a risk worth taking, because what we've discovered with Elle is that the more we've innovated the product, the greater the reader reaction. So this is an audience that responds very well to innovation and to new ideas. And
does this mean you'll be normalising more covers?
We hope.
Or will you just go? Or will you just go straight back to?
It means that David Campbell can be a cover girl.
You can be a cover girl, David.
Oh God, I look terrible. I was bent. Oh no, now I look fabulous. But does this mean you're going to do more different covers as for Elle now moving forward? Are you going to be, you know, putting more? I would say. Different shaped women and ordinary women on the cover?
Well, ordinary women. We have to sell the magazine.
Well, no, every woman's extraordinary.
Every woman is extraordinary, and actually, you know, it's a business and we do need to sell it. But we have actually this year, we've had the breastfeeding cover with Nicole Tronfillo. We've had Rebel Wilson, the very first magazine cover that Rebel did. So I think Elle is true to this. But whether or not we're going to put a no-name person on the cover, well, we have to still sell magazines.
That's the next frontier.
Because we have to still sell magazines. So, you know, if we think that would sell magazines, absolutely.
It's a great story.
But it's a business judgment, obviously, and as is this. This has been a business judgment, and we think that it will do very well.
Well, consumers have to take responsibility, don't they?
That's right.
Yeah. So if people are watching and they think, I think this is a great idea, then it's like when a real woman, to use the vernacular, is put on the cover.
I may never
it's
read
in the
it.
hands of
Go
consumers.
out there, buy Elle magazine today and encourage more change on the front of magazines. Thank you all for